Hi, this is Tim at the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. That's still my email. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any other watch you see on our platforms. Reach out to me for pricing. I am still T Mosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we are discussing a lovely 2022 launch from Glashütte Original of State of Saxony in East Germany. This is the 70s Chronograph Panorama Date Fab Green. Glashütte Original giving us a very East German take on the green dial that has been so fashionable for the last 3 years. And while a lot of the press photos make this look almost spring grass green or maybe lime green, in person it's really more of the gradient of greens that you see on an avocado. So having set the stage, let me disclose the size. In stainless steel, 40 millimeters in diameter, 14.3 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 50.2 millimeters. It wears well on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see that it has a large size because that's just how non-round watches wear. While it's rated at 40, it's nothing like a 40 millimeter round watch. It's really more like a 42 or a 43. So keep that in mind because that is how it's going to fit. Now, it's not too thick, nor is it particularly sheer, as there is quite a bit of slope to the bezel. Taking a look over the top, you can see that the lugs are out to the edge of my wrist. That's something to keep in mind. I believe you need a wrist of 15 centimeters circumference or larger to wear this watch, and the timepiece does sit securely. Part of the reason that it fits, even if your wrist is that 14 centimeter borderline, is because unlike a lot of integrated strap watches, this strap can be pulled straight down. See that 90-degree bend from the horizontal of the case band? That's great if you've got a smaller wrist. It'll make it easier to arc the strap around your wrist. Now, there are some character lines molded in. There's a visual extension of the end link profile. On the underside, we have a little bit of serration that helps to hollow out the bottom and make it more flexible. It is a brand new Geo factory strap. We have a Geo factory deploying clasp right here, a twin trigger release system. You must press both triggers and then double fold, which is often more forgiving to a small wrist than a single fold. You can see the Geo logo as well as a combination of satination and polish externally. And as we roll back to the case, we have a combination of, well, satin and polish. Now, it's an integrated profile, so the case band blends into the lug hood seamlessly. And then the bezel has a rounded, I would say it's more of a rounded square than a rectangle, as it's fairly symmetrical. We have extended delta style, almost trapezoidal polished chronograph pushers. We have a Glashütte Original crown, you see branded, screw down. The watch does have a water resistance of 100 meters, so this is very much a sports watch. Now, taking a quick look, the first feature to call attention to is this lovely lacquered dégradé dial. Now, Glashütte Original has its own factory in Pforzheim, Germany, where it makes its own dials. This is very much a Geo product inside and out. There's that gradient from sort of a bright avocado green to a dark avocado green at the edge. And the reason I keep making that comparison is because really the greens are spot on for avocado, but also because it's matte finished rather than gloss. We have hands and indices which are blackened and polished. We'll do a loom shot now. And you can see the watch really is quite well loomed. A few things that you could miss if you're not looking super carefully. First is that the discs for the double-digit date, they're flush, not superimposed. That's a nice refinement I always like to have on a double-digit date. The other thing is that there's a little power reserve indicator over at approximately, let's call that 940 on the dial, and it will turn all black when the 70-hour power reserve is fully wound. We have a scrolling hour display up at the top, and then you can see we have a flyback chronograph function, so reset and restart without first stopping. That's ideal for timing events that occur in rapid succession. Also demonstrate that the watch features a hacking or stop seconds function, and unlike a lot of panorama datum watches from Geo, this watch is really compact. Rolling around to the side, we have a little pusher adjuster that allows you to adjust the panorama datum, and everything here has just been beautifully arranged so that the watch actually has bilateral symmetry, where if you split it down the center, each side, with the exception of the power reserve indicator, is a mirror of the other. So that's a really good look. The combination of white, black, and gradient green on this dial, super effective. Now, flipping the watch over, you could see the Geo Caliber 37. Caliber 37 is an in-house chrono with a lot of features that are agreeable. First of all, the long power reserve of 70 hours, the flyback chronograph capability. You can see that the watch features a free-sprung balance structure for a high degree of accuracy, adjusted in 5 positions. So it's been adjusted to the standard that is common for high horology watches as well as chronometers. And then we have an on-off indicator for the chronograph. So you can actually see from the back of the watch whether the chronograph is on. So we've got the 4 hertz beat rate, the free sprung oscillator, the on-off, the 5-position adjustment, the flyback chronograph capability, the 70-hour power reserve, the stop seconds function, 65 pivot jewels. Then if you look, we can see this lovely solarized reduction wheel for the winding system. Genuine blued screws. We have snailing on the edge of the bridges as well as on the base plate, stripes across their tops. We have a combination of both polished and blued screws with a polished swan's neck. And then there is finishing, a combination of snailing and matte finish on the bridge for the escapement as well as the base plate. So there's quite a lot of decoration here. We have a beautifully black polished column wheel, the column wheel making for a really crisp operation as you cycle the functions. And then we also have a vertical clutch so that the chronograph engages without any jump or stagger. And if you wish, you can leave it running full time because there's no additional wear and tear in a vertical clutch mechanism. East German sports watch fans and those who never knew they were East German sports watch fans, step forward. Your German time machine has arrived. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.